All right, welcome back to the 5th episode of
God's Not Dead.
God's Not Dead Podcasts, Born Again Christian series. So once again, we do not have our third, which is Gabe, because he's still dumb. But anyways,
That's life.
he is going to be reading on this and listening to this podcast when we're done. He better, because I'm gonna go beat him. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time just kind of like jibber jabbering before. So like I said in the previous ones, if you're new to this episode, make sure you listen to the other ones, the first ones, so you kind of understand what this book's about, if you are needing any words and wisdom from this book. We are jumping into chapter 4, a practical theory of pornographic lust, because it's different. It might look the same, but chapter 3 is just a theology of pornographic lust, but chapter 4 is a practical theology of pornographic lust. So, with that said, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10? Don't get me wrong. 10 paragraphs?
I think it's 11.
11 paragraphs?
Let me
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, 11 paragraphs. So,
yeah,
should be quick and easy.
I'll read 100.
Yeah, Drew, how about you want to start off?
Sure.
Okay, start off at the beginning and then just read to...
I'll read to 6th paragraph 1. So...
Is it Proverbs 31:30 or is it Hebrews 13:4?
Well, let's get here. Let's get there first. It's Proverbs 31:30.
Sweet. All right, why don't you read to that, and it'll be my turn. And yeah, like last time with just the two of us, if we find something during the reading before we finish that needs to be that we can kind of talk something about, or that we think that should be said, just kind of if we kind of find something or summarize or find something out that sounds interesting and would need to be said, we'll stop reading and kind of go over what we found in the book, in this chapter. So, go ahead and start off with chapter 4.
Chapter 4. A practical theology of pornographic lust.
Okay, you don't have to... You can start with the whole stuff.
Genesis 2:22 explains the creation of Eve and the rib that the Lord God had taken from the man he made into a woman and brought her to the man. God made the earth and called it good. But even before sin entered the world, God said it was not good for man to be alone. So God made Eve to be with the man as a lover, helper, and friend. Until that point, Adam had never seen a woman because one had not been formed by God's hands. All that Adam had seen at that point in his life were aardvarks, sea bass, other animals that did not look good in a wedding photo. Eve may or may not have been beautiful, but to Adam she was glorious because she was all he had ever known. Practically, he had no standard of beauty to compare to his bride. She was his only standard of beauty. In creation, we see a wide pattern that for every man, his standard of beauty is not to be objectified, but rather it should simply be his wife. This means that if a man has tall, skinny, red-headed wife, then that is sexy for him. And if his neighbor has a short, curvy, brunette wife, then that is sexy for him. Pornographic lust exists to elicit coveting and dissatisfaction that no woman can satisfy because she cannot be tall, short, endowed. I
believe waifish.
Waifish. That's okay. Black and white, young and old, like the harem laid out in pornography. The Book of Wisdom gives us some wise counsel on your wife as a standard of beauty. Proverbs 5:18-19 through 19 says, "Let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice in the wife of your youth, a lovely deer, a graceful doe. Let her breasts fill you at all times with delight, and be intoxicated always in her love." If a man fills his mind with images of other women's breasts, he can never be satisfied with his wife's breasts, thereby diminish her confidence and his marriage. Proverbs 27:20 says, "Sheol, death, Abaddon, destruction, are never satisfied, and never satisfied are the eyes of man." If we apply this principle to pornographic lust, it becomes apparent that seeing such schmut is not going to satisfy our lust, but rather inflame it for more images. Lusting may begin with a magazine, website, or video, and continue to more magazines, websites, or videos until they become bored and descend into strip clubs, prostitutes, or easy women, which eventually become boring and lead to orgies. I don't even know what that
Voyeurism?
Voyeurism, exhibition, pedophilia, and whatever else a crooked human heart can venture. Don't kid yourself. Sin is an on-ramp to death. If you get on and don't repent, turn around and exit, you'll find the landscape getting darker, grosser, filthier, and deadlier. You may even be one of the millions of men who would murder their own children in the womb of their mother, as yet another sinful fool, proving yet that sin leads to death. Proverbs 11:22 says, like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. According to this truism, a woman with a hot body and no discretion regarding to whom she's subject to is nothing more than a well-accessorized animal. This explains why the women men lust after are not the kind of women they would marry, because pigs are fun to roll around, and get dirty with, but you never want one sitting next to your mother for all the holiday dinners. Proverbs 30. What?
Is that?
That's one. I read that one.
Is it the last one?
This is the last one. Yes.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Proverbs 31:30 says, "Charm is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised." A man who marries will find that eventually his wife fades, as if birthing and breastfeeding your quiverful gravity and atrophy always wins in the end. Consequently, if a man cannot embrace beauty as existing in his aging and changing wife, he will yet be another silly fool in a parade of horny, saggy, perverted men, chasing around young women with fists full of Viagra like Hugh Hefner.
That is a interesting analogy.
I think it's kind of true. I mean, I saw on Facebook that there was a 60-year-old marrying a 14-year-old. And I was like...
Marrying? Well, they're both idiots. I can tell you.
Just a little bit.
The first this kind of, I just see, and it's kind of pretty understandable.
Well, it's practical.
It's
Genesis.
Like he's saying that it's not just the idea behind pornographic lust or just lust in general really isn't. I mean, it's anything that has to do with seeing an image and of another woman like you would of your spouse. You know, like it said, you look at your wife and you see its bodily features that get you going, so to speak, or you are sexually attracted to, but doing that to or seeing that and thinking about that with a different woman with anything other than if you're married or just if married in general, because I don't think it would be applicable to anything else. So just with your spouse, your marriage partner. So yeah, it kind of explains that. I don't think there's anything else. So yeah, let's move on to the next paragraph here. Hebrews 13:4 says, "Let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous." Men who believe they can look at naked women without those images being embedded in their minds and haunting them in the marriage bed are fools. The worst case I'm aware of, personally, is a guy who had to have magazine pictures of other women on the pillow next to his wife's head when they had sex because he had so conditioned his body to be aroused by porn that he was no longer aroused by his wife. Wow.
You don't want to be that guy.
That's... Well, for one, why would you even... Wow, I'm surprised his wife even let him do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard a story that there was another guy who could not be turned on by another woman because he had masturbated that much. Yeah.
Let's
just move on.
There's some problems to assess there, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, that is not okay. You do not want to be that guy. It literally says that you do not want to be that guy.
Oh, yeah.
You do not want to be that guy, and you do not want your wife to be that woman. Exactly. Yeah, we're just saying, how would the woman even, like...
Yeah.
That is one weird relationship.
Just a little bit.
Further, since the sins of the fathers are often visited on their children, if you are a daddy, the next time you are tempted, ask yourself if you want your sons to be that guy and your daughters to be that wife, and you should experience an erection correction. That's a little good catchphrase there.
Yep. Get yourself an erection correction, bruh.
Alright. 1 Corinthians 7:4 says, "For the wife does not have authority over her own body, but the husband does. Likewise, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but the wife does. A married man does not own his body, but rather he is a steward of his body that belongs to his bride and his God." That is very true. Every single man, likewise, is merely a steward of his body for his God. Okay.
You don't own
I
this.
went to... So you know ALC, Aaron Burtner's church? I've been going there now.
Aaron, what?
Burtner.
Oh, there we go. That's not ALC.
Oh, never mind, not ALC. CMA.
CMA.
Okay, yes. Well, anyways, I've been going to church. I haven't been gone to church in years, but I used to. But I decided to go over there because, I have friends there, and it just felt like that I should...
ALC, like me.
I should go. But it's a long story of why I can't go to other churches. But anyways, surprisingly, the last sermon that the pastor taught was about sex, specifically sexual immorality, like no joke. I mean, it talked about everything but masturbation, because obviously that's kind of, yes, it has something, it is also involved kind of with sexual immorality, but it's like not one of the main points. But one of them was pornography, is what he talked about. And I remember specifically actually him saying the same thing where it says, in Corinthians 7:4, "For the wife does not have authority over her own body," and vice versa, and the husband doesn't have authority over his own body. That was literally, I remember what he specifically was talking about, that you have no control over your own body. Your body belongs to either your spouse or God.
Well, actually, it belongs... When you get a spouse, it belongs to both of them.
Because the two become one flesh.
Yes.
I remember, that's what I was trying to get to. That's what he said.
Because you become one with your wife, and you become one... She becomes one with you, and just...
Vice versa, yeah.
Yeah, and then so...
And then the rest goes to God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And it was actually weird. He was explaining how there was a study about DNA from semen when there was a sexual interrelation with, like, like a healthy marriage with God, that it would not just, what's the word? I'm blanking out here. Human reproduction, like that whole, it wouldn't just, all that would just go there with human reproduction, all the organs and stuff, and doing its thing. It would actually, the DNA would actually go up and be a part of the woman's brain. Like, it would actually, like how the Bible says, when that happens, when there's sexual relations with marriage with another spouse, they become one, the two become one flesh. Well, there's like apparently there's scientific evidence that backs that, which is really weird. I mean, to think about it, like, I don't know, it's kind of weird how, like, semen or whatever, or the
Semen,
well, I mean, yeah, but like just that going up and finding its way in the woman's brain is a little weird. But I mean, if that's true, but anyways,
that's true. That's
so you guys get all that point. Let's move on. I don't know. Okay, a married woman does not have. Okay, consequently. Okay, yeah, I think so. Here we go. Likewise is merely a steward of his body for his man eventually. Okay. Consequently, a man has no right to use his eyes to view pornographic lust because they are not his eyes. Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. And if he plans on touching himself sexually, he should discuss it with his wife first, since it is, after all, her body he is looking after.
Now that would make for an interesting discussion. You're walking up to your wife, "Hey, honey, can I masturbate in the bedroom?" She just look at that would make for an interesting discussion there with your wife. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that, because I mean, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great.
All right. 1 Timothy 3:2 says, "Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach." Reproach? That's weird. I don't even know what that is. The husband of one wife, literally a one-woman man, since Hebrews 13:17 instructs God's men to follow the life example of their leaders. The normative pattern of the church is men whose eyes and desires are directed solely toward their brides. Lastly, 1 Timothy 5:1-2 says, "Do not rebuke an older man, but encourage him as you would a father, younger men as brothers, older women as mothers, younger women as sisters in all purity." Men who view pornographic lust invariably see women as objects with parts and are incapable of being friendly and intimate with attractive young women because they cannot view such women in a non-sexual manner. If God's men did view women as sisters, they would see the naked girls they lust after as beautiful sisters in need of dignity and grieve as if their little sister suddenly became a stripper. Interesting. All right. So, all right. It's the last paragraph.
Yep.
This point hit home for me in a painful and personal way many years ago. While on a radio program, a male caller was speaking about his enslavement to pornography and how he did not feel too badly about his sin because the women in his magazines were getting paid and probably had fun being sex objects. During the commercial break, a young woman from my church who was working for the show came in to say hello and ended up telling me her story. She explained that she had been repeatedly sexually abused by her uncle as a young girl and came to see herself as a dirty girl. She embraced her filth and became a very promiscuous young woman who had sex with older men. When she was old enough, she began stripping at a seedy club, and because of her beautiful body, she made piles of money and was soon solicited by men for prostitution, which she obligated to make even greater sums of money. Since an older man had abused her for so many years, it made sense in her mind to at least pay her bills from that act. Eventually, she was offered a job as a porn star and began making adult films. But the entire industry was so sickening, degrading, and animalistic that she would get high and drunk before each movie shoot, just to endure the violations. She then explained to me that none of this stopped until she met Jesus. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, that feels good.
Just a little bit, yep.
True.
I was getting really bad.
I know. It was like the whole thing was just bad,
Depression.
bad, and then all of a sudden, until she met Jesus. Like, there
Jesus. Wow.
It's good. As she spoke, I couldn't help but wonder if there were men from my church out renting her videos to make home and masturbate to without knowing that she would be sitting in church next to them and singing songs to Jesus the following Sunday. Yeah, that'd be kind of weird. That'd be kind of weird.
Just a little bit.
Indeed, God's men should treat every woman in the same way we would treat our sisters.
Well, I treat my sister pretty poorly, so I treat them better than my sisters.
Okay, well, you don't.
Well, you see, I treat my sister very badly because as soon as I came home as an infant, I will give her this. She was 4 years old, but she kicked me in the head. I was a baby. The only reason she kicked me in the head, I wasn't a girl. So this is why she gets this. She gets all the evil.
All right, then. Well,
Yep.
But I don't think we need to reflect as much because we kind of did that on the way. There were
Yes,
a
we
lot
did.
of different things. So,
I'm going to see if I can find something.
see if you can find something.
But for the most part, yeah, we kind of just talked about all this stuff while we were reading it. So, I mean, now you're getting an in-depth explanation to things we read. I like those long pauses that I gave there, man. I really do. What was that one? It was... yeah, that one. 1 Timothy 5:1-2. Do not rebuke an older man, but encourage him as you would a father, and younger men as brothers, older women as mothers, and younger women as sisters, in all purity. Now that I kind of think about that kind of verse right there, it reminds me of another verse called in Romans 12:10, which is love one another with brotherly affection, honor one another above yourselves. And for me, that verse is kind of something that I've been trying to attain in real life. Of course, I'm not going to do that very well because I'm an idiot. I will open disclaimer.
Don't talk to yourself like that, man.
Okay, fine. I have my dumbass moments. I'm going to call them Gabe moments. I have my Gabe moments.
Blame Gabe.
Yes, blame Gabe. Not really. I love you, Gabe. If you're listening to this, I love you.
He's probably going to listen to this.
Probably. I love you, Gabe. I'm sorry. But I have my Gabe moments, and I have my stupid moments. And so, but I do try my best to love one another, everybody, as though they're my family. Because if you look at everybody as family, you're not going to look at them like, ooh, she got a nice body. You're not going to look at them like that. You're going to think, oh, hey, there's Dylan. He's stroking his hair.
Well, you went from, hey, look at that nice body, then you started talking about me, and I'm like, don't talk to me like that. I don't like...
Yeah, you see, that's why you don't want to talk about that kind of stuff, because
That's just weird, bro.
It's weird.
You just walk up, yo.
Yeah, you walk up to a guy and just like,
hey, yo, Drew, what's going on, man? You want to go grab a drink? Dude, you got such a sexy pack of abs, bro.
What are you talking about? I got a cake.
Anyways, so
but,
yes.
Yeah, no, that's how weird it is. You just walk up to somebody you know and you love and you treat them like your family, and then you're just like, yo, you got a nice body. It's like, that's just weird. It's like walking up to your mom and say, hey, mom, you're hot.
No, see,
That's just
if
weird.
you talk to your mother like your father would to her. Like
Mhm.
that's the those are two different things.
It's
But I just don't see that is just beyond weird. I don't even like looking lustfully at a family member, like any kind of family
family member.
family member. Yeah, exactly. I just
You don't get that.
I don't. That's just weird. That is very weird.
It is very weird.
So, anyways, yeah, we are at about 25 minutes. We will pull it off of there. Next chapter is literally just masturbation. That is literally the next chapter, chapter 5. So that, I have a good feeling that is gonna be like, I'm guessing this is gonna be
chapter.
is it longer?
It is freaking humongous.
Here, 1, 2. Oh
You
yeah.
just gotta look at all the pages.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, that's.
And then there's chapter 6. Just look at that lonely 6 there. Man.
We are going to definitely
Get a Gabe.
Well, this is next episode is going to be a lot longer. I'll tell you that. There's a lot. You can, if you're following along, you can see that. This chapter might be the biggest, most in like the.
Oh, let's see here. I gotta compare now.
I'm just preparing you now because this chapter is the biggest, and it will probably go into some serious depth and some serious stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in here. There's even questions about it too, and answers and stuff inside it from verse. That's awesome. Yeah. So if you guys want to go in here, if you're listening to this, go into chapter 5. You can see questions from the book, and go through them and just go through the questions and find the answers and stuff, and just do that before the next episode, because I think that might help you guys, and I think we might as well just kind of look through the questions and answers and just kind of get an idea of what we're diving into before we just go straight into it, because there's a lot to look in here. So, all right, we're running out of time. So besides that, next week is going to be some serious stuff and long. I wouldn't say super long. Hopefully less than an hour, because that would be a lot. But
that would be a little bit too much.
That'd be but there's a lot of stuff, so it could go that long, and we don't want to leave anything out. So, that is everything, you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, you are awesome, and thanks for sticking with us. If you are sticking with us this whole series, because it has been an absolute blast knowing everything and just getting all the information out of this book, because I knew it was a great book, and it's got some serious stuff in there that can
make you think.
Help anybody. Yeah, make you think, help anybody out. So, read up a little bit on those questions from chapter 5, because we will do so as well. And so.
Getting over with Ben.
Yep. And if you need any questions, prayers, concerns, email us, godsnotdeadpodcasts@gmail.com if you need anything, or just feel free to comment anything. I don't even know where the comments are anymore. It comes up on my phone, but I don't know where the comments. So if you know how to do that, do that. Email me or just whatever. So anyways, guys, thanks again for all of the support, watching us, or not watching us, but listening to us. And until next time.